There we go. Now it's recording in the right place. Okay, so if you go to our Google Classroom, you'll see that the very first
Okay.
document under the necklace is in class Venn diagram. So if you guys could both go there, I will go there too, and we'll all be in the same document.
Okay.
So it's going to open a Google Slides document. Oh, yay, I see you both there. Good job. Okay, so this morning we talked about everybody's spring breaks. I split everybody up into partners, but since there's only two of you tonight, everybody will stay together. But you can all type into the document. But let me show you what we did this morning so you have an idea of what to do. So this is called a Venn diagram. And this is a Venn diagram about two people's spring break. So it was Laura, me, and Susanna, one of my morning students. Okay, why can't I type in here? It should let me type in here. Spring break. Okay. So for my spring break, I took a road trip. A road trip means we get in our car and we drive and stop many places along the way to our destination. So my destination was Humboldt State University because my middle daughter is going to go to college there. And she wanted to see the campus before making her final decision. And I decided I wanted it to be a fun road trip. And we did a lot of planning before we went on our trip to decide where we were going to stop and stay. So our first stop was Petaluma, California. It's one of my daughter's favorite small towns because she loves tea and it has her favorite tea shop. They make tea leaves, the kind you put like in your teacup, tea. And then it also has many very, very good restaurants. And we love to shop in vintage stores that sell antique or vintage clothing. And so we got to do some shopping in Petaluma. And then we went to a town called Ferndale. So I'm actually going to show you guys what Ferndale looks like. You have to go there sometime if you get a chance. It's so cute. It's about 4 hours away from here, and you travel up 101 like you're going to Oregon. And it was built in the era in the United States where everybody was building Victorian houses and buildings. So this is the town. It's like 5 minutes away from the ocean.
Oh, nice.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, it is.
And we stayed in this particular, and these are all the houses around it look like this. Aren't they amazing?
Yes.
It's so fun. We had such a good time. There's not a lot to do there. You kind of just walk up and down the street. It's pretty small. This is the inn where we stayed called the Victorian Inn. Okay, so that was our second stop, and we got breakfast there and stayed the night at that cute hotel. And then our third stop was Arcata, which is where Kelsey's University is. And it's right on the bay. There's a bay up there, just like we have the San Francisco bay down here. Up there they have this bay, and then this is what the university looks like. And We just went and took a tour of the campus. So it's definitely not this sunny. It was overcast. It looked like it was going to rain the whole day. So that's the downside of
Yes.
going to school up there is, oh, and then this, she wants to be a botanist, which is somebody who studies plants. And they have this giant geodome there, and on the inside is a rainforest.
Nice.
Yeah, so cool. So she really likes it, and is excited to go there. She might stay. This is the student housing. It goes up the side of a hill, and she might stay in that one. Okay, and here's the bay. So you can see it's up the hill from this little bay, so it's right next to the ocean. And then on the way home, we stayed in a place called Calistoga. I don't know if you've ever had Calistoga drinking water, but that's where it comes from. And this is what Calistoga looks like. So it's actually a lot like Ferndale, but it's over in the Napa area where they have lots of wineries and wine vineyards. And so we stayed in a really cute place there too. So I really enjoyed myself. It had been a long time since I had taken a little trip, so it was really fun. Okay, so that was my trip. So basically on the Venn diagram, um, okay, wait, am I in the wrong place? I gotta go up. I took a road trip. It was a trip for pleasure. It was a college tour of Humboldt. We ate in restaurants, stayed in cute hotels, and went shopping. Okay, my student Susanna, her parents lived in Canada and they were moving back to China and they needed to sell their apartment in a hurry so they could leave. So Susanna ended up buying her parents' apartment from them at market price. So it was difficult. And she had to do lots of paperwork and speak with lawyers and speak with bank representatives and I had to get a notary, which is a person who helps you sign your documents and then verifies that you are who you say you are. And she had to fill out a lot of paperwork. So it was the exact opposite of the thing that I did for spring break, right? She had to do work. And the things that she had to do were not pleasurable. They were kind of stressful and she had to do lots of paperwork and interactions with lawyers and bankers and things like that. So here's what she put. She purchased her parents' apartment in Canada. She had to speak with lawyers, she had to speak with banks, she had to fill out paperwork, and she had to do this because her parents moved back to China. And she had to speak to a notary. So you might think, okay, so on these circles, the outside part that's not overlapping are the things that are different. So all these things that we typed on the outsides are the things that are different about our vacations. But we had to figure out what was the same about our vacations, right? Because this is where the circles overlap and so we had to figure out, is there anything the same about our two vacations? So this is what we came up with. First, we both spent money. So she spent a lot of money and I spent a medium amount of money, but a small amount compared to what she spent. We were both very busy. I did a lot of planning. I did a lot of traveling. I did a lot of walking, that kind of thing. Shopping, moving around. We were not lazy. We were definitely very busy. Same thing with Susanna. So we were both busy. Um, we were both helping family members. That's what my students came up with. Isn't that great? So She was helping her parents by buying their property so they could move away to China. And although it was a pleasure trip, I was helping my daughter to go see her college campus so she could make her final decision about her choice. So, in a way, we were both doing something to help family. And then finally, we both had a good result. My daughter really liked her campus. I had a good trip. She was able to purchase her parents' property. Her parents were able to move. We both had a good result. So now, why are we doing all of this? Why are we trying to figure out what's the same and what's different? It's to prepare for writing a compare and contrast paragraph. But for this exercise, we're not going to write the whole paragraph. We're just going to write the outline. So if you go to the second page, this is the format for the outline. So we need a topic sentence. So Laura and Susanna had two very different spring breaks, but there were some general things they had in common. And now we have to come up with the first topic. So the topics are going to come from the things that were the same. So planning is our first topic. So if you look on the first page, planning was one of the things. We both had to do a lot of planning. So that's going to be our first topic in the compare and contrast paragraph. So if you look on that very first sentence, it says your first topic will compare or contrast. So it's going to be about planning. So you might say something like Laura and Susanna both had to do a lot of planning. This would be if you were actually writing your essay over spring break. And now, example and explanation from story 1 would be my story, Laura. Laura did a lot of planning making hotel and dinner reservations. And then about story 2, Susanna's story. Susanna did a lot of planning, filling out documents for transferring ownership of her parents' property to her. And then we have the explanation. Both breaks were filled with planning, but Laura's was for pleasure and Susanna's was more out of necessity. So actually, I almost want to do, this is a third paragraph. I should have fix it later. Okay, and then next, what's our second topic? So we decided to use helping family. That was this one right here. We were both helping family members. So this was the second one. Laura and Susanna were both helping family members get something or help to do something. Okay, so hey, could you watch Mama while I'm on my meeting, Bailey? Could you watch Mama for me a little bit? Okay. And then Laura was helping her daughter tour the college she plans to go to and made the trip into a pleasure trip as well. Susanna was helping her parents take care of their property so they could move to China. Her trip was not as much for pleasure. Her vacation did not include as much pleasure. Okay, and then finally we chose busy. It was a busy vacation for both of us. And then both of us, it says Laura's break was filled with traveling, shopping, eating out, and touring a college campus and was very busy. Susanna's break was filled with paperwork, phone calls, trips to the bank, talking to a lawyer, and etc., and was also very busy. And then your concluding sentence. While both breaks were seemingly very different, they had some overarching similarities. Okay, so now it's your turn. You and Rena both need to tell me about your spring break. So I'm going to start with Fernanda. I'm going to put Fernanda in this box right here. And I'm going to put Rena in this box over here. So before I even start typing, Fernanda, would you just verbally tell us about your break? Now you have to kind of think that even if you didn't go somewhere, obviously you did do some stuff, right? So think about all the things that you did over the break. Now, some of my other students said things like they cleaned their house, they prepared a special meal for a celebration. They, what else did they? They went shopping at the grocery store. Okay, so they just kind of made a list of all the things that they did over spring break. So, Fernanda, why don't you start by telling us about your spring break?
Um, I cooked cakes and cookies.
Oh, nice. Just for fun or for an occasion?
No, just for fun.
Okay, just for fun. You baked cookies and cakes?
Yes.
Ooh, for fun. Okay, did your kids help you or was it just you?
No, just me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, so we have that in there. Okay, what else?
I played some games with my with my boy,
Okay, with your
with my
sons.
son.
What
Yes.
games did you play?
Oh, one moment. Let me see.
You don't know the name?
I know in Portuguese.
Oh, is it like a Portuguese?
Puzzle. Puzzle.
Oh, puzzle.
Yes.
Okay. So you did a puzzle like a
Puzzle
with the
100
little with the
pieces.
oh, okay. Puzzles. Okay. Okay, anything
He
else?
likes some challenges, some games of challenges, and um, he is 4,
Okay.
and the puzzle with less pieces, he doesn't like. He likes 100.
Wow, he's good for
Yes,
age
it's good.
4. Yeah,
Yes.
he's really good. Okay, and then anything else? What else did you do?
I painted with the with my sons.
Oh, you painted with your sons. What did you guys paint?
Uh, McQueen. It's a car.
A car?
Yes.
Oh, like a what do they call it?
It's
Uh,
there is a movie, Pixar. It's I don't remember the name.
oh, okay. Okay, so you painted a car, a toy car,
Yes. Yes, some cars.
toy cars with your sons. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then anything else?
We went to the park
Okay.
and we spent uh, more than 1 hour in the park.
Okay, spent more than an hour. Okay. Anything else?
Let me see. Um,
And if you run out of things, that's okay.
I think I don't remember
That's it? Okay.
that. We ate Chinese food
Oh, ate Chinese food. Okay.
and pizza.
And pizza. Ooh, sounds fun.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes if we just remember the little the everyday things that we do, and actually our lives aren't really so boring, you know, we do some nice
Yeah.
fun things. Okay, so now let's talk to Raina. Raina, what did you do over spring break?
Um, I went to uh, green card interview.
Her green card interview.
Yeah, before that, my husband, I paper document.
You had to
Uh,
prepare some documents.
yeah, and the interview questions together.
Okay, prepare interview questions. Prepare for interview questions.
Yes. Um,
Okay.
so we drove the car. We took road trip to the place we will interview. It's 2 hour half.
Oh,
Well, its name is for Fresno. I don't know how to spell it.
Fresno.
Fresno, and we
Took a
took.
trip to Fresno. Ah, for the
Yeah,
interview.
yeah. Also, we stay at a hotel in Fresno.
Oh, okay. Stayed in a hotel in Fresno. Let me get this. Oops. Let me move this box. Ah, why is it not letting me? Okay, whatever. Stayed in a hotel in Fresno. Did you like Fresno?
Um, yeah, it's just like normal US city. Yeah, that there. Yeah, it's, yeah, I like that there.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, and also after interview, we went home. Then we played game,
What games did you play?
World of Warcraft.
Oh,
Yes,
World of
World.
Warcraft. Oh, computer game.
Yeah,
World of Warcraft. I'll just say wow. That's what
yeah.
these
Wow, wow, teacher, you know, wow. Yeah,
Yes,
wow.
because my husband and my son,
Yes.
they they've played it before, but they're computer gamers. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, they're both computer gamers, so they know all this stuff.
Okay, my husband, I also play WoW every night,
Oh, how
every
nice.
day.
That's so good. He probably really likes it that you're a gamer because most wives are not gamers. I'm not, that's for sure.
Before I don't play game, and my husband, yeah, he told me the game is fun, so I played
Oh,
because
good, Raina.
because he wants to play a lot of game, but if I don't play, I will like he can't play. So
That's good that you do that together, you know?
yeah, we play
It's
game
something for
together.
you to do together. So, you know what's really cool is my husband, he started collecting board games. Um,
Uh-huh.
you know, the kind that you put on a table and everybody sits around the table and you play
Uh-huh.
together. Because my husband is a really big gamer on the computer, but
Uh-huh.
he decided to start collecting really interesting, cool board games. And so
Yeah.
it's good because everyone in our whole family can play together.
Ah, yeah.
And that way people aren't going off to their separate computers and being so alone, you know? It's like everybody can come and interact and be together, which is really nice.
Yeah. Play game together is fun.
It is, and it's a good way to just bring the family together, you know?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. So
And
did you eat?
also I
Oh,
cook.
yeah. Oh, you cook. Okay. So what did you
Yeah.
make?
I make just a normal food like chicken,
Okay.
beef.
So you cooked meals. You cooked your
Yes,
meals,
yeah.
um, which is always really nice. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you do have some things in common. One of
Yeah.
them, you both cooked or made meals, or okay, you both prepared food
Yeah.
because you did baking and Raina did cooking, which is different. Baking is like cookies, cakes, breads. And
Uh-huh.
then cooking is like chicken, rice, vegetables, that kind of thing. You both prepared food. Okay.
Play game.
You both played games. Um, you played games with your boys, and Raina played games with her husband. Let's see, anything else? Well, that's about it, because Raina's was really all about her interview.
Yes.
And I would say Fernandez is more about entertaining her sons over the break.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, you can't really say you both traveled because your travel was just going to the park. And yeah, and her travel was like traveling in the car all the way to Fresno.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really overlap. So it sounds like you had two things in common and then everything else was different. So yours might be a little bit different because we don't have three things that overlap. So we're going to have one of them be about a difference. Um, so I guess you could say, um, well, I guess we could say you were both busy. Did you relax, Fernanda, or was it a busy break?
Yes, I relax playing with my sons.
Okay, so it was a relaxing break.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, all right, so we'll talk about a difference then. So now we're going to go to this section right here. So we have to introduce the two stories. So we're going to say Fernanda and Raina both okay, let's see, had very different spring breaks. Okay, so the topic of the first paragraph is going to be, well, we'll have to just choose the first two, right? It's going to be about food, I guess, or let's see, maybe we should start with, you know what? Let's start with the thing that's different. So, we're going to talk about like what you did. So, I guess the activities. I guess that's what we could say. You both did activities. It's
Yeah.
very general, but
Yes.
I'm making a category, right? So you did activities with your sons, Fernanda, and Rana did activities to prepare for her interview. So, and then we'll talk about that in our first paragraph. So, because we need to have something that kind of connects the two things a little bit. So the activities for Fernanda's centered around taking care of her sons or entertaining. Okay, and then Raina's activities centered around preparing for her green card interview. Okay, so now I'm going to have Raina do topic 2 and Fernanda do topic 3. So Raina, which one do you want to do? Do you want to do prepare food or play games?
Play games.
Okay, so Raina's going to do play games for topic number 2, and then Fernanda, you're going to do prepare food for topic number 3. Okay, so you're going to, instead of that one, yeah, you're going to put play games. So Fernanda, are you able to get into this document?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So then, yeah. So right where it says the story endings, you're going to erase that and you're going to put, oh, wait. Okay, so Raina will do that one then. Raina, you do the games on the last one. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now you have to say what kind of food you prepared. For example, from story 1.
Okay.
So Fernanda, you need to write under example of story 1, erase that and put Fernanda prepared and then explain what food you prepared.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. You want to be up under prepare food. Oh, wait, that's right. And Raina, you want to put on your, oh yeah, that's right. Raina got it. I'm sorry, I'm messing you guys up. So yeah, Fernanda, you were correct. Just
Okay.
put Fernanda prepared and then say what you prepared.
Okay.
And now for your second one, you need to say Raina prepared and then say what Raina prepared.
So,
So Fernanda, for example, an explanation from story 2.
okay. One moment. Deus do céu.
And then now we need like a final statement. I guess, and talking about the main similarity and difference between the two stories. So I think another similarity that we failed to talk about too was you did things with family. You did activities with family. So that could be like something you put on your final sentence, because now we have to kind of restate that topic sentence, but in a different way. So we could say Raina and Fernanda's spring breaks were very different, but both spent time with family. Okay, something like that. Okay, so this is just an outline, right? So when you write your paragraph, you're going to go back in and say things in more detail. And honestly, I feel like there needs to be an additional sentence right here that explains the similarity or difference. So I feel like we should have topic 1, activities, and then similarity or difference right here. So we could say something like Fernanda's activities were more for fun, and Reina's were more for the purpose of getting her green card, which was a little bit stressful. Was it stressful, Reina?
Yes.
So Fernanda's activities were more for fun, and Reina's were more for the purpose of getting her green card, which was a little stressful. So see how I'm kind of comparing and like explaining the difference between the two. So I think that's how I want to change this outline. I'm going to change this on the main one as well. So now what would we say about, we could say Fernanda prepared cookies and cakes for fun, and Reina, you prepared, you cooked meals as part of your like daily dinner routine,
Yeah.
as part of her daily dinner routine. So again, Fernanda's was a little bit more for enjoyment, and Reina's was more for like necessity again. So we could say again, Fernanda's activities were more, Fernanda's food preparation was more for fun and enjoyment, and Reina's was more for necessity. Okay, and then we look at the last one, the games. Again, oh, you could write it, Reina. Reina, or Fernanda's games. I don't know. This is probably both Reina and Fernanda play games with their family members. So that's a similarity.
Yes.
Yeah. Fernanda and Reina both played games with their family members for enjoyment. So that would be a similarity. I'm going to change this on the main outline for everybody else. Awesome. Yay. So basically you have a really good format for a paragraph comparing and contrasting Reina and Fernanda's spring breaks. Okay. So we're going to be using the same exact format to compare two stories, but it won't be due for 2 weeks because first we have to read the two stories. Okay. So the first story that we're going to read is called The Necklace, and we're going to read the abridged version first. And then it's going to be your job to read the unabridged version. And I'm not going to lie, the unabridged version has lots of difficult vocabulary. Okay, it's the original story written by the famous author, and it's also old. So, as we know, many of the old stories written by classic authors, they have many difficult and new vocabulary words. So, I do have those vocabulary words in our Google Classroom. So it would be a good idea if before you, actually, maybe we'll go over that vocabulary together. So if you click on vocabulary, sentences, and images, there's a document that we can all get into together. And this is not even all of the vocabulary. There was so much vocabulary that I could only choose the top 26 words. And there's even more in the story than this that I think you might not know. But I picked the hardest ones. So the first word, I'm going to have everybody just say these after me. Wretched,
Wretched.
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 So it means in a very unhappy or unfortunate state. And the main character in this story is a woman who is she's married to a man who is not rich, but she wants to live a rich lifestyle. So she's very unhappy about that situation. She feels that she deserves to live a more luxurious lifestyle than what she's living. Okay, so she feels wretched, very unhappy about her poor, poor lifestyle. It's not poor, but it's by her standards is considered poor. Okay, so refinement. Say this. Refinement.
Refinement.
Good. Refinement.
Refinement.
Yes.
Refi-
So the process of removing unwanted elements from something. So this woman wants to be more refined. She wants to dress up in nice, really fancy clothes. She wants to have beautiful jewelry. She wants to fix her hair and her makeup. So that would be refinement. She's getting rid of her messy hair. She's getting rid of her dull everyday clothes and she's refining herself. She is making herself more fancy. Okay. Next word, suppleness.
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 So the word supple means easily bendable. Supple. Like, so if I don't know if you've ever heard, like they say, if you use face lotion, it makes your skin more supple. It means your skin is nice and soft and flexible and plump and beautiful. So this is what supple means. I can't remember how it's used in the book. Let me open up the book to this page. Oh man, I can't believe I closed it. I can't remember the page number. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Let's see how they used it in the book. Suppleness. It should be close to the first page. Oh, in them, beauty, grace, and charm replace pride of birth. Innate refinement, instinctive elegance, and suppleness of wit give them their place on the only scale that counts. And these qualities make humble girls the peers of the grandest ladies. Okay, now that's difficult to understand, but basically what it means is um, women can sometimes trick other people into thinking that they're of a higher class because they're beautiful and they can dress up and make themselves look fancy. And suppleness of wit. So wit is like it's not quite intelligence. It's like your ability to speak with people in a successful, clever manner. So if someone's witty, they can make good, funny conversation with people. So suppleness of wit means that their wit is very flexible. They can go into any situation and be able to talk with people of a high class or a low class, and they can sound like they know what they're talking about. They're very flexible in their ability to communicate with other people. Suppleness. Okay. Tormented. Say this.
Woman. Right. Woman.
Tormented. So this means severe mental suffering. So the woman in this story feels tormented because her best friend is rich and she's not. So you can tell this woman does not sound, she sounds kind of shallow, right? She puts a lot of value on material and physical things and not things of substance like gratitude or helping people or being happy with what you have, that kind of thing. No, she's very much into appearances, how you dress, how you look. Um, Hobnobbing, that means going to fancy parties, having fancy dinners, those kind of wearing jewelry, all those things. So she's tormented that she does not have those things. Okay, rueful.
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 Um, so here's the sentence. The very sight of the little Breton girl who cleaned for her awoke rueful thoughts and the wildest dreams in her mind. So all these things that another woman of her class would not even have noticed tormented her and made her angry. The very sight of the little Breton girl who cleaned for her awoke rueful thoughts. So the woman who she's best friends with has a maid. And so she's filled with sorrow and regret that she doesn't have a maid, right? She wants to have a maid. Redolent.
Not relevant.
I hope I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I'm going to look this up. So let's look at the phonetic spelling for redolent, because I might be doing it wrong. Redolent, redolent, redolent,
Redolent.
redolent. So that is how it's pronounced. It's weird they're not dividing it into syllables. It looks like they put it all in one syllable, which is very odd. Redolent. So it's running all together, which I find very odd because I would have thought that it was 3 syllables. Redolent, 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 redolent.
Redolent.
Yeah, so I'm actually very surprised. They're running it all together. Redolent, redolent.
Redolent.
It's at least 2 syllables. So I don't know. Maybe they just don't use syllables in this particular dictionary. Redolent. Okay. So this is a word I actually did not know. Strongly reminiscent of or suggestive of. So here's the sentence. She dreamt of great drawing rooms upholstered in old silks with fragile little tables holding priceless knickknacks like little figurines, and of enchanting little sitting rooms redolent of perfume. So that means reminiscent, like the room smells like there was perfume in it at one time. So reminiscent or redolent. Okay, gallantry, that's the next one.
Gallantry.
Get polite attention or respect given by men to women. Gallantry. So have you ever heard the word gallant?
Gallant.
It's like when a knight comes to the rescue of a princess. You know, gallantry is when men open the door for women or they hold their hand to help them get up into the carriage or they lay their cape down over the puddle so they don't have to walk in the mud or they rescue them from danger. So this is gallantry, polite attention or respect given by men to women. This is where it started. This whole idea of the knight rescuing the princess or men coming to the aid of we poor, innocent, naive, helpless women. Can you tell I'm not a big fan of gallantry because it puts women in a place of weakness. So on the one hand, it's nice, right? We have men who are paying attention to us and being nice to us. But on the other hand, the assumption is that we are weak and therefore we need to be taken care of, right? So in modern day fairy tales, women save themselves, right? They tromp through the mud willingly. They open their own doors, right? So the days of gallantry, while very nice, are not necessarily good for women. Right, I'm going to stop there with the words. It gets a little boring after a while. So we went over the first 7. So we'll come back to the rest of the words later. But we're going to start reading the story on page, let me look it up. Do you guys have this book at home or shall I put it on the screen?
No.
Okay, I'll put it on the, let me just pull it up. I have it in our classwork. You can click on it if you want to. It's called The Necklace,
Okay.
and we want the abridged version. So actually, wait a second. It's not there. It's in the Literature Reader's Companion. So go to the Literature Reader's Companion link, or you can just look at my screen if you want to. And it's on page 122. So I have to scroll down to page, it takes a minute for it to upload. So I am on, okay, I have a ways to go. That's 90. Oh, still not there. One 12. Okay. Gotta go back up a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna use this now.
You can do the
122.
Control plus F.
Oh, Control F, and then, oh, that's a good idea. Control F, 122. Why didn't I think of that, Rena? You're so, oh no.
It's fine. You can go next. They have
How
4.
do I
Because
just do?
they have 1 of 4. You can see that. You can go next.
Okay.
Next. There it is.
Yay. Oh, Rena, you're so smart.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, here's the summary. This story takes place in the 19th century Paris. Madame Loisel, so Madame, say Madame
Madame
Loisel.
Result.
I know it's hard, it's French. So Loisel is the unhappy wife of a middle-class government official. So this man works for the government. She constantly dreams of being rich. Her husband obtains an invitation to an exclusive dinner party. Madame Loisel borrows a diamond necklace from a friend so she can look respectable at the party. After a wonderful evening, they are horrified to discover, I'm not going to read it. We're gonna, I want you guys to wait and find out the ending as we read. So, all right. So, Raina, why don't you do that first two paragraphs.
She was one of those pretty, charming young women who are born as if by an error of fate into a pretty officer's family. She had no
Dowry.
worry, no hopes, not the slightest
Slightest.
chance of being uh, appreciated, understood, loved, and married by a rich and distinguished man.
Good.
So she slipped into marriage with a mere civil servant at the Ministry of Education.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Okay. So, as if by an error of fate, meaning it was an error that she had to marry a petty official. Petty means not very important. Dowry is what a family pays to a man to marry their daughter. So she had no money that would go from her family to a future husband, which was, I guess, a common practice at that time. So she married a minor. So the word is minor, M-I-N-O-R, minor.
Minor.
And it means like not a very important person who works for the government, a minor civil servant at the Ministry of Education, which is kind of like the school district, like the one we have, the Livermore Valley Joint Unified School District. Okay, keep going, Raina.
Okay. The woman is Madame
Madame Mathilde
Madame Mathilde
Lazelle.
Lazelle.
I know.
She is bitter and unhappy about not being rich. She feels that she deserves a
Gracious.
luxurious life and hates the old plain house, a life of poverty. She dreams of living in fancy house with servants, beautiful furniture, and fine food. Her husband is content but
She wishes.
she consistently wishes for fancy clothes and jewelry that others would even
Envy.
envy.
Yeah, yeah. So she wants to have fancy clothes that other people would desire. She wants everybody to be jealous of her, not her being jealous of other people. Okay, so Fernanda, you have the next one. She had a rich friend.
She had a rich friend, a schoolmate from the convent she had attended, but she didn't like to visit her because it always made her so miserable when she got home again. She would weep for whole days at the time from sorrow, regret, despair, and distress.
Oh my gosh, the whole day just because she's jealous of her friend? Oh my goodness. So I guess they attended a convent school. That was very common for religious orders to have schools at them. So that's how she met this rich woman. Okay, keep going. Madame Loisel.
Madame Loisel and her husband are invited to a fancy party at the Ministry of Education. Madame Loisel says she can't go. She has no nice dress to wear. Her husband gives her money to buy one. She gets a dress but is still unhappy. She complains that she has no jewelry to wear.
Okay, jewelry. Everybody say this one. Jewelry.
Jewelry.
Good. Jewelry.
Jewelry.
There we go. Okay, so her husband like goes out of his way to get her a new dress, And it's in the main story, it's a much bigger deal because he spends a lot of money on a dress for her. And then even after she gets the brand new dress, she wants jewelry. So she's kind of, not very gracious, meaning she's not very grateful for the things that her husband is doing for her. Okay, so keep going, Fernanda.
Okay, no, there is nothing more humiliating than to look poverty stricken among a lot of rich women. Then her husband exclaimed, "Wait, you silly thing! Why don't you go to see Madame Forestier and ask her to lend you some jewelry? You certainly know her well enough for that, don't you think?" She let out an awful cry. "You're right. It never occurred to me."
Okay. So she just realized, oh, that's a great idea. I could borrow a necklace or something. All right, so Reina, go to the next 3 paragraphs.
Okay, she visits her friend and the next day and explains her problem. Madame Forestier is very understanding and gets her jewel case. She tells Madame Rousseau to choose any pieces. Madame Rousseau eagerly tries on several pieces of jewelry. Finally, she borrows a beautiful diamond necklace. At the party, the pretty Madame Rousseau is center of attention. All the men want to dance with her.
Okay, so her plan worked. She got all dressed up and everybody thought she was so beautiful. All the men wanted to dance with her. So here's the next word, Fernanda, enraptured. Say this, enraptured.
Rapture,
Raptured,
And then here's another one, intoxicated.
intoxicated,
intoxicated,
And this one, triumph.
triumph,
Triumph.
triumph.
Okay, so go ahead and start reading the next one.
Danced a rapturous, carried away, intoxicated with pleasure, forgetting everything in this triumph of her beauty and the glory of her success, floating in a cloud of happiness formed by this homage, all this admiration, all the desires she had stirred
Stirred.
stirred by this victory so complete and so sweet to her of a woman.
Okay, so homage means paying respect to. So all the men in the room are paying respect to her because she's so beautiful.
wow.
Homage, yeah, paying respect to. All right, so keep going, Fernanda. Back home.
Back home, Madame Loisel discovers to her horror that the necklace is gone.
Wow.
Couple search their clothes but don't find it. Loisel retraces his steps outdoors. He still doesn't find the necklace.
So just to let you know, this is what the necklace looks like.
Oh,
Wow, beautiful.
It's diamonds, right? It's giant and it's filled with diamonds. So it's very, very valuable. Or, yeah, so I'm not going to give anything away. Okay, so he doesn't find the necklace. So pick up at by the end, Reina.
Okay, by the end of the week, they had to lose all hope. Ludo, who had aged 5 years, declared, "We will have to replace the necklace." The next day, they took the case in which it had been kept and went to the jeweler, whose name appeared inside it. He looked through his
Ledgers.
ledgers. I didn't sell this necklace, madam. I only supplied the case. Then they went from one jeweler to the next, trying to find a necklace like the other,
Racking.
racking their memories. Both of them sick with worry and
Distress.
distress.
Okay, so ledgers are his
Ledgers.
books. Ledgers are his books, where he keeps his, records of his sales. And then racking means trying really hard to come up with the memory, like looking and looking and looking and looking for the memory that they are trying to find, which is where the necklace is. Let's see where we were.
The couple. Yeah.
There we are. Okay. All right. So keep going, Raina. The couple finally.
Okay, the couple finally find the necklace that looks like the one. It cost 3,600
thousand
francs. Loser must borrow 18,000 francs to pay for it. Madame Loser gives the necklace to Madame Forestier. She doesn't tell her where it really comes from.
Okay, so francs, that was the money back then in France, francs.
Francs.
And it's Forestier, Madame Forestier. Am I saying that right, Kelsey?
Madame
Forestier.
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 Okay. Kelsey, my daughter just took French, 3 years of it in high school, so I'm asking her how to pronounce it. Okay, you can keep going, Raina.
Okay, Madame Loser begins her life of
Poverty.
since she knows the debt has to be paid. She does all the
Hated.
hated household chores. She lives like a working class woman. Her husband works a second job at night. After 10 long, hard years, their debt is finally paid. Wow.
Okay, good job. So debt, that means like they had to pay everybody back. That was what they owed other people. They had debts that they had to pay. And Madame Loisel ends up becoming a poverty-stricken woman, meaning she has to do all of her own cooking, all of her own chores. She can't buy anything fancy, and they have to work very hard. Okay, Fernanda, next paragraph.
Madame Loisel looked old now. She had become the sort of strong woman, hard and coarse that one finds in poor families.
Disheveled.
Her skirt askew.
Askew.
With,
Yeah, it means like messed up.
okay, with hidden hands, she spoke in a loud voice, slopping water over the floors as she washed them. But sometimes when her husband was at the office, she would sit down by the window and muse over the party long ago when she had been so beautiful, the belle and the ball. How would you things have turned out if she hadn't lost the necklace? Who could tell? How strange and Fi-
Fickle.
Fickle life is. How little it takes to make her or break you.
Okay, so disheveled, that means all messed up, messy. Muse, that means to think, to think over. Belle of the ball, which just means the beauty of the ball. Belle, it means beautiful in French. And fickle, that means quickly changing. So the word fickle means it's often used to describe somebody who changes their minds quickly and easily, but it can also mean be used to describe something like life, which means that life is quickly changing. You never know, how it might turn out. It's quickly changing. Okay, you can go ahead, Raina. One day.
Okay, one day, Madame Ludo meets Madame Forestier in the street. Madame Forestier is shocked by how old she looks. Madame Ludo explains that it's all because of diamond necklace she brought.
Fico tá lá embaixo, tem em cima da geladeira.
You remember the diamond necklace you let me to wear to the party at the ministry? Yes, what about it? Well, I lose it. What are you talking about? You returned it to me. What I gave back to you was another one, just like it. And it took us 10 years to pay off it. You, you can imagine that it wasn't easy for us, since we were quite poor. Anyway, I'm glad it's over and done with. Madame Froger spoke short.
Forestier.
Birthday. You say you bought a diamond necklace to replace that other one? Yes, you didn't even notice them. They really were actually alike. And she smiled, full of proud, simple joy. Madame Forestier
Forestier. Profound.
profoundly moved, took Madame's hands in her own. Oh, my poor Madame. Mine was false. It was worth 500 francs at the most. Wow.
So, do you guys get it? So the
Yeah.
necklace, yeah, the necklace that she borrowed was a fake. It was it was a it was
Wow.
fake diamonds, and it was only worth about 500 francs, and she replaced it with a real one.
Real life.
So
If they got that back, they will be rich, you know.
what did you say?
I mean, if they get the real diamond back, the woman will be rich.
Yes, exactly. The woman was rich anyway, but now and the funny thing is, she didn't even know it was real. They never told her. So,
Yeah.
what do you think the moral of this story? So, like, what is the message of this story? What are we supposed to get out of it? Like,
Mm,
what do you think is the lesson of this story? What's the lesson we should learn? Any ideas?
um,
Do you think
stop.
oh, go ahead.
No, just like satisfy what you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
She should have been satisfied with what she had, right?
Yeah.
She kept pushing for more and more and more. Her husband bought her a dress. And then when you read the story in here, you're going to find that he told her, "Oh, you don't need jewelry, just decorate your hair with flowers." that's all the fashion these days. And she says, no, I need to have jewelry. I'm going to look like an idiot if I come to the party without jewelry. So she's just very, very caught up in the idea that she needs to look rich. So do you think she got what she deserved?
Yeah.
I mean, they really had to pay a high price, right?
Yeah.
They worked for 10 years. Um, I don't know. I feel like she definitely got what she deserved, but I think she got more than what she deserved in a way, right? But it could have been avoided had she told Madame Forestier the truth. But they were so proud, they did not want to admit that they lost the necklace, and therefore they kept it a secret. So I think that was the other thing that caused their suffering. Had they been truthful, they could have avoided all of that trouble.
Yes.
So that was another element of the story. They didn't tell the truth. Okay, so for homework, you're going to be reading the unabridged story in the textbook. But if you do not have the textbook at home, I have posted it for you in our Google Classroom. And so if you click on the Gift of the Magi original version, not the Gift of the Magi, the necklace original version, and you click on the link, it opens up the story online. Okay, so you can read it online. But I suggest that you review the vocabulary before you read it, because there is going to be a lot of vocabulary that you are not familiar with. So go through the vocabulary that is listed in our vocabulary. And then I'm also going to be posting more exercises with verb tense. But one more thing that I would like to do tonight, because I notice when you guys are pronouncing words with ed on the end, you tend to mispronounce the ending. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I want to pull something up. Hopefully I can find it. How to pronounce ed. There's a chart online that I think is very good, that shows how to pronounce ed. What are the rules? Hopefully I can find it. Okay, maybe. Okay. Let me see here. I want to go out of the images. Okay. How to pronounce ed, voiced, unvoiced chart. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Okay. I'm looking for this particular chart that I always use, and I need to make a copy of it and put it on our classroom. Darn it, I'm having troubles finding it. Let's see if this one has it. No. Okay, I'm just going to do one in my own document. I basically know how to do it. So I'm just going to open up a blank document. Okay, so the thing about pronouncing ED, you have to look at the last letter of the base verb. We're going to have verbs that end in voiced, consonant. So actually we have the base verb ends in D or T, and you're going to pronounce it ed, like the, oh gosh, okay, I need that symbol, like the short E, ed, like said or read, okay? If the base verb is voiced, meaning you use your voice box, then it's going to sound like d, like card, C-A-R-D, d at the end, right? And if the base verb is unvoiced, the sound is going to be t, like cat. So like the T in cat. T. Ed like red, d like card, or t like cat. So now let's try some verbs. Let's think of a verb that ends in D or T. Can you guys think of a verb that ends in D or T? Like what?
Play it.
Play. Okay, so play ends in y. And actually it sounds like a vowel. Play, a. So this is a voiced sound. So A is voiced. Play. So this A sound at the end of play is voiced, meaning we use our vocal cords to make it. So if you put your hands next to your vocal cords and you feel it buzzing, A, right? It's voiced. So the ending vowel is going to be D. So you're going to pronounce it D. So it sounds like D by itself. So like Playd, D, played. Okay? So that's how you pronounce it. If the base, so give me another verb. Just throw any verb out there, but it needs to be a regular verb, not an irregular verb, so that we can put ed on it. So an irregular verb would be one that changes spelling in the past tense, but a regular verb is a verb that uses ed in the past tense. What about hate? Hate. Okay, so hate ends in the sound t, t. So this one ends in T, right? H-A-T-E, right? And the T is this final sound of this verb, t, t. So then this one is going to be pronounced ed, like red. So it's going to be hated. So this sounds ed, like red. Hated, like red. Okay, so it has the ed sound, like red. Okay, so hated. Okay, what's another verb?
Fake.
Fake. Okay, that one ends with, but that's an unvoiced vowel or a consonant. So that would go under this one. So
Okay.
make the sound and fill your voice box. You should feel no vibration.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an unvoiced consonant. So F-A-K-E ends in an unvoiced consonant. So the ED is going to be pronounced t on the end. Okay, so it's going to be faked. Faked, like cat. So the ED is going to be F-A-K-T, faked. Okay, so those are the three different ways that you're going to pronounce ED at the end of a word. So what I'll do is I'll give you guys homework with this particular ending so that you guys can practice these endings. I might even have a YouTube video for you so you can practice pronouncing it with the video. Because this is difficult because I have to spell it phonetically for you because it doesn't look like it's pronounced any differently on paper, but when you spell it phonetically, you can tell that it's pronounced differently. So played, that one's pronounced d, and played, and faked, right? F-A-K-T. If I spell it phonetically, you can see that it's faked, not faked, right? We don't say faked, we say faked. And we don't say played, we say played. And then anyone that ends in T or D, we do say ed, hated. Okay, and that's because, okay, we have to add that extra syllable because we can't say hated, we can't say hated, and we can't say hated. We have to add that little extra syllable in between the T and the D, or in between the D and the D to go ed. But everything else is just d or t. Okay, so we'll give you some exercises for that this week, okay? Awesome. All right, so your homework for next week is to read this story, the unabridged story of the necklace, do the vocabulary words in the vocabulary chart that I've given you, and then do the exercises that I'm going to post for verb tense and pronouncing ED.
Okay.
And those two, I haven't put the verb tense or the ED one up yet, but I'm going to be doing that tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Have a great weekend, you guys.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Welcome. Good night.
Bye. Good night.